Howdy. Is this you?
Helldiver KIA deploying replacement.
Well, if it is, then you've come to the right place, Helldiver. In this video, I'm just going to cover a couple things that I learned when I first started playing Helldivers 2. Just some quality of life changes, some stratagems that personally I use the most, and then also good ways to get samples. Because when I first started out, that's what was really slowing me down and holding me back. So, if you're having trouble collecting samples or finding stratagems that fit your playstyle, then sit back, relax, grab a thing of popcorn, and let's get right into it. First off, some quality of life changes. These aren't really necessary, but I'd recommend doing them just because it makes your life easier. First one's up here in options, go to gameplay. Weapon, switch weapon on pickup. You're going to want to turn that to no. There's been a whole bunch of times where I've just been killed because I go pick up my grenade launcher, my recoilless rifle, and then I get swarmed by a whole bunch of things that are too close to use that, and I have to switch back to my primary or my secondary, and I can't fight effectively, so I just get killed. So turning this off will fix that. Something else to turn off is auto climb during sprint. This will just stop you from doing any weird parkour stuff, climbing over random map objects. Next thing you're going to want to change, up here in display, you're going to want to go to camera shake strength. It's typically on medium. You're going to want to turn that down to weak, just so that you can still kind of see what's going on while there's explosions all around you, but you don't lose that entire cinematic aspect of it. Finally, you're going to want to come down to HUD, scroll down about halfway until you find reticle visibility. You're going to want to turn down visible so that it shows up when you're just running around instead of when you're just aiming down sights. This will help you out by allowing you to do a lot more hip fire shots and may just save your life if you need to do any like quick turns and take out guys without aiming down sights. Next up, stratagems. So as a new player, this list may seem kind of daunting just because of how much stuff there is in it and how much stuff there is to buy. But in reality, you're only going to use maybe 10 of these on a common basis. You're not going to use a whole bunch of these stratagems. You're going to find the ones that fit your playstyle and use them whenever you play. Because in reality, a majority of these stratagems work at any difficulty level. So no matter what mission you're doing or what difficulty you're playing at, your stratagems that you enjoy using will work. So I'm going to go down this list, tell you the ones that I use and why I think you should get them. And yeah, let's get started. First up is the recoilless rifle. Now, this thing is good at any difficulty rating. It is able to take out any armored target that you're able to see on the battlefield. Majority of these things it can actually take out in one shot if you know where to shoot them. So I would take a recoilless rifle if you're doing any full-length 40-minute missions. It's good against Bile Titans, it gets good against Hulks, Scorchers, anything with armor that your rifle can't take out easily, you're going to want a recoilless rifle. Next up in our first orbital stratagem is the orbital laser. Now this thing is also good at any difficulty rating. It has pretty good anti-tank and pretty good anti-group capabilities, but the thing that really makes it shine is that it automatically tracks guys. So if you have large groups of enemies who are moving around, like patrols or anything like that, you can just call this orbital laser in on top of them, and it will automatically track all of them and most likely kill all of them. And this is really good for if you're also trying to run away from any large groups. You can call this in, and it will track them all and kill a lot of them. The issue with this stratagem is twofold. One, the cooldown time is 5 minutes, so once you call this in, you're going to be waiting for quite a while to call it in again. And second, as you can see up there in the preview, it catches the ground on fire. So if you're calling this in danger close, you may accidentally catch yourself on fire and it may kill you. It may also, so technically the downsides of it are threefold, if you're calling it in danger close, it may track over top of you and kill you instantly. Second and final orbital stratagem that I rarely ever use is the orbital rail cannon strike. This thing is really good against big armored targets because it will kill them instantly. It has enough damage that it will kill pretty much any armored target that you'll ever see. It also has a very quick call in time, and it automatically tracks to the largest target. So you can really just throw it into a group of guys and forget about it. And you know that it will target the big scary guy that you're trying to kill. The reason I don't really use it all that much is because the orbital laser can do pretty much the exact same thing, except it can also kill a whole bunch of the small guys around the big scary dude. So the only time I really take in the orbital rail cannon strike is if I'm going against any Bile Titans or any Dragon Roaches and I'm trying to do a blitz mission. I can just have this on standby to call in and instantly kill one of them and just leave me free to keep on with my mission. Now we get to the fun stratagems, the Eagle Airstrike stratagems. Now, I really only use two of these, the Eagle Strafe and Run and the 500 kilogram bomb. I've found that the rest of them are alright, but you can get the same amount of work done with the Strafe and Run and the 500 kilo. You don't really need the rest of these taking up your space. Now, the final stratagem that you really need is the Jump Pack, or the Warp Pack. However, the Warp Pack is stuck behind a War Bond, so you would have to spend 100 super credits to get to it, and then spend medals to get down to unlock it, because it's at the very bottom of that War Bond. I currently do not have that War Bond completely finished, so I'm stuck using the Jump Pack, but that's fine. The Jump Pack takes up your backpack slot, so you're not able to carry ammo. Like, if you were to bring in the recoilless rifle, per se, you'd have to have somebody else carry ammo for you, but you are not really going to be using the jetpack on missions that you require the recoilless rifle for. The whole thing with the recoilless rifle is that it's really good on blitz missions. You're able to get from place to place super quickly, get over obstacles, get around enemies, and take out all of the targets you're meant to take out. This is really helpful on bug missions, where you can get swarmed by a whole bunch of bugs. You can use the jump pack just to get out of range, and because the majority of them are only melee, they can't hurt you, and you can just outrun them. The one other thing that I would recommend bringing is the grenade launcher if you're doing blitz missions. This isn't required. You can just bring your normal grenades, take out bug holes and factories. However, the grenade launcher is just really good all around for blitz missions, taking out large groups of enemies if they're far enough away from you. I have been discovering recently that it's just good in general. I've been bringing it in on missions where I know that other people are bringing in anti-tank. So if you want to run around with a grenade launcher and a jetpack on, I definitely recommend doing it, and it's a whole bunch of fun. But what's your favorite stratagem? I know for a fact that I've offended at least some of you because I didn't include your stratagem on this list. So let me know down in the comments why I'm wrong, what your favorite stratagem is, and why you like using it so much. Finally, we get the samples. Now, if you spent any amount of time on the front line, you've encountered some of these before, and maybe even went over to the little icon and picked them up. But then you died, and you lost all the samples that you collected. And you decided that you don't have enough time to go and grab them, so you just continue with your mission, extract, and you didn't really get anything out of it. But are samples really worth going back for and getting? And what do you use them for? Now, samples are good for one thing and one thing only, and that is ship modules. Now, what ship modules do is they upgrade your super destroyer to allow you to use stratagems more effectively and more often. For example, the Stonation Access License, it costs 60 common samples, and what it does is it makes sure any of your tertiary support weapons, they deploy with the maximum number of magazines. So your HMG would deploy with all the ammo. It wouldn't be dropping down with only half ammo like it usually does. Another ship module is the Expanded Weapons Bay. This increases the number of Eagle stratagems uses per rearm by 1. What this means is instead of having just one use of the 500 kilogram bomb before the Eagle has to go and rearm, now you have 2. And instead of just having 4 strafe and runs, now you have 5. So even though it's just one additional use of each Eagle Stratagem, it makes your life a whole lot easier on the front line, and it may just save your life like it has mine. But how do you get samples? Well, really the answer is easy. You just play the game, run around, pick them up off the ground, and try not to die before you extract. But there's a couple of tips and tricks I can give you if you want to kind of be grinding out samples in order to upgrade your Super Destroyer. First one, something you should know is that samples don't spawn at every single difficulty rating. Common samples are the only samples that spawn at every difficulty rating, but if you want to get rare samples, you have to play at difficulty 4 and above, and if you want to try and get super samples, you have to play at difficulty 6 and above. And the higher difficulty you play at, the more of each type of sample there is. What I would recommend doing if you're grinding for samples is to get the jump pack, like I talked about earlier, and the Stratagems tab, and the grenade launcher, and just run around with those. Try and get a buddy with you if you can, but if you don't have a buddy, that's fine. Just run around with the jump pack and try and find all of the points of interest on the map. Samples only spawn at the points of interest, which are the little diamond icons on your map. So if you can find a LiDAR station, that will make your search for samples a whole lot easier. But other than that, you essentially just gotta play. You gotta spend your time. Go to those points of interest, grab the samples, then extract. You don't even need to complete your primary objectives. You can just go in, grab the samples, then leave. But there you have it. That's how to get started in Helldivers 2. Thank you for sitting through my TED Talk. Hope you enjoyed yourself. Thanks for hanging out. If I missed anything, or if you disagree with anything I say, please let me know down in the comments. I'm always willing to learn. I'm still a relatively new player to Helldivers myself. This is just based off of the experiences that I have had. But thank you for hanging out. Hope you have a good morning, afternoon, or evening, and I'll see you around next time.